Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing. It's precision crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Take your vibes on go, 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 go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Your life involves dealing with money, whether it's spending money or earning money. We also think maybe you should be saving some and, well, certainly investing it better than you probably have. That's why we're here to help every Saturday. And our number is 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. I'm Don. That's Tom. You're whoever you are, and you continue to be who you are. We're glad you're that person.
Is Dave Ramsey here? Because I love it when he calls with his...
12%.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Thank you. Thanks, Dave. You can go back. You can go back in your room now.
All right, let's get things started on the telefono with Mike. Mike, welcome to the show.
Mike, thank you for being patient. How can we help you?
I was just curious what company you might recommend to invest in real estate with Roth IRA, to self-directed. Is there a safe company to use out there to do that with, or
this self-directed? There really isn't, because for one thing, you're giving up custody of your money. This is the part that I always struggle with. I don't care how reputable they are. I mean, the money's going into somebody else's pocket, and you got to hope they're going to do the right thing. Number two is I want
to ask why.
Yeah, why do you want to do this?
Well, because I've been investing in real estate on my own, and I just thought if I invested in real estate with a Roth IRA, then all that profit would be...
What about diversification?
Well, I have other as well.
Yeah, but here's the problem with the self-directed IRAs. To be able to invest in a particular piece of property, you are going to have to pay astronomical, off-the-charts, ridiculous fees, which right off the bat makes it one of the worst choices I think you can make. I think your IRAs, that's where you should do your diversification. If you're a real estate investor and you're doing it as a business, great, good for you. Do not extend that into your IRAs and pay those big fees.
Custody, high fees, and again, I guess what you're hoping for, obviously, Mike, is I'm going to make outsized returns because these guys know what you're doing. That's another struggle, because sometimes they do, and they do well, and other times, because we hear the stories, people come in the office, I gave them $100,000. I'm still waiting 10 years later to get my $100,000 back. It doesn't mean everybody's like that, but it's highly speculative. I'd put it that way.
Okay. Well, thank you for the...
I wouldn't recommend... Yeah, I wouldn't. There's no one I would recommend. Not a soul. Thanks for the call, Mike. Yeah. We appreciate it. 855-935-TALK's our number, 855-935-8255.
Self-directed IRAs. This is an area where I think most people, the reason they do this, I could be wrong, can call me and correct me. For the most part, you do it because I don't want to just be at index funds. I don't just want to be in the S&P 500. I need something that's going to juice up my returns and make me more, right? I mean, that's really the reason they do this.
I can do better.
I can do better than just the market. And what we know as people that have followed this for a long time is unlikely. We don't find very many people who do. By the way, it's the same reason people trade or flip houses. There's some profit motivation that feels like I'll make more than the rest of the world. The problem is we can't find the people that have done that, right?
Not consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while you can find one who did it, but it's more anecdotal than it is data-driven. There is just no evidence. There's no good long-term evidence that anyone, anywhere, anytime consistently beats the market and consistently gets high returns. Sometimes people get lucky, or sometimes people cheat and steal, but those aren't consistent.
And we know the bigger problem.
Jail.
Bigger problem is Dave Ramsey is right about one thing. More of your return comes from your saving rate generally than your rate of return on the money, because most people, frankly, Most
Don't
of it,
save.
they're not saving. I mean, they're not. And this is why a disciplined savings, in other words, knowing a certain amount comes out of your check, we talked about this last week, goes into your 401k or your IRA or your Roth IRA or Acorns for that matter. It goes out of your account and it gets invested and it's gone and you can't go get it tomorrow. Because there's a piece in the Journal again today, Don, talking about this problem that it seems like every 3 or 4 months it comes up again, that baby boomers aren't going to have enough for retirement. The number today was, according to the census, about 4 out of 10 baby boomers will not have the assets they need to retire and maintain their cost of living, their style of life that they have today. And a lot of it's not just the saving, by the way. It's debt. Baby boomers between the ages of 60 and 69 have $2 trillion in debt. $2 trillion in debt? As you pointed out in our green room meeting.
It's only 4 people.
It's only 4 people, so then you don't have to worry. That's one problem. The other one is, it turns out that denial is not a river in Egypt. Denial about you giving
It is actually. No, denial.
Giving your
denial
adult, giving your adult children money or a place to live or whatever it is, and costing you.
North.
That is costly, okay?
Denial, yeah.
Is costly. But here's the other one that was in the article. Now, help me understand. They quote a 69-year-old woman who says she's selling her Star Wars collection. She's selling her dolls and her yo-yos and all this stuff to pay for her lifestyle because her life insurance, she's 69, remember, her life insurance has gone up. I want to make sure I get the number right. The premiums have gone up by more than 300% over the last 2 years. Now, help me understand why at age 69 you have a life insurance policy.
Well, okay. It's possible that she has someone who is reliant upon her for income. That
Maybe
would be
that's
a
her
reason.
husband. Maybe that, but it says
or a
he's
child.
He's got a pension.
An adult child who will never get a job, like that kid who got kicked out of the house with mom and dad in the court.
Okay,
yeah. You could ever tell. That actually, in my opinion, that's the only reason why anyone should have life insurance.
I mean, I'm a little old at age 60 to have a 10-year-old, so I have a good deal of life insurance because if anything happened to me, then I want to make sure she's going to be okay. That makes sense to me, right?
Right. But when she's out of college in her 20s, you're not going to have a life insurance policy for her anymore.
Nope. Sorry about that.
She won't be reliant upon you.
No. So when you read these pieces, there's reasons why, and there's pretty clear. And helping your adult children is another one that is really a no-no. It happens. I've seen it up close and personal. And it's bad news.
Really? In your house?
Let's not go. I've seen it happen, yes, and it's bad news for both the enabler and the enablee, if that's correct English. It works out not very well for either party because what it really does for the person you're giving the money, it simply delays the day of reckoning when they're going to have to wake up and say, I guess I'm going to have to take care of this on my own. That's bad.
Yeah, I had to, just like hit mine with sticks and cattle prods. Got him out. Just leave. Ouch. Get out of the house. Go get a job. They left.
There you go.
They're all gone now, and I'm done. I'm not supporting them anymore. I'm done with it. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. Stop in. We'll help you deal with dough.
Are talking real money.
If you're sick of investing through an insurance agent or a stockbroker and you're in the market for a fee-only advisor who charges truly low fees and uses a scientific approach to building portfolios for your risk tolerance and need, you should check out Vestory. Tom and I started this firm, and it is devoted to educating everyone, total transparency, clarity, low fees, and great service. If you're looking for an advisor, you ought to at least take a look at us at Vestory.com. That's Vestory.com. Or give us a call, 800-386-3004.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. Give us a call. We'll talk about how you can manage your money better.
Why don't you give out a few of those retirement guidebooks? We got some great responses. People love that. Guy wrote us last week. He said it was a page turner. That Don McDonald can really put together a great story. No, I'm kidding. But he said it was a page turner. He said it was a page turner.
Well, really but bear in mind, it's like I had a little help from some of the stuff from Vanguard and Dimensional Funds.
There's a couple other stuff, but it is.
We could do that.
Why not?
We've got
I think they're reproducing in the back room. We still have like 4,000 of them or something. So
I don't know that I ordered that many, but okay.
No.
If they reproduce by themselves,
Right.
that's pretty cool
Cheaper.
technology, and apparently technology that was not
so,
around in 1896 when
just
the
to finish-
original Dow.
Just
What?
to finish, if you call and you ask a question, we'll send you out the guidebook.
Okay, the real
All right.
retirement guidebook.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Better retirement guidebook.
And
Better
the number is
retirement- yeah.
855-935-8255. So there, I knew the number.
Correct.
All right.
Last hour,
Yes.
we were talking about the Dow and how stupid it was.
Yes.
Is.
As an
It's
index,
kinda
as a
worthless.
measure, as a something, a bellwether, or something you should pay
The
attention to.
Dow
about
Jones
your money.
Industrial Average.
Yeah, it's 30
It started-
stocks. Yeah, go ahead.
Started in 1896. Was started by Charlie Dow, and it was originally 12 stocks. Now, which of those 12 stocks is still in the Dow, albeit for a limited time?
Yeah, well, that's pretty easy because we know General Electric is headed out, and Walgreens, because I go there for my toothpaste, is headed in.
General Electric at the time was this, this little startup started by a guy named Tommy Edison. And
Did okay for himself, yeah.
He did okay for himself. But it did get removed from the Dow twice before.
Wow.
In the 20th century, and then was put back in. But here's the list. I love this list.
This is
of
the
companies
original companies.
The Dow has changed. The American economy has changed
this is
so
part
much.
of the reason that I don't like making, and I know you're going to hate this term, bets on individual stocks, because companies
like that
come
term.
and companies go. People, well, Amazon will be around forever. No, it won't. No, it won't. It won't.
Actually,
Sorry.
only one of the companies that was an original part of the Dow actually went completely away. The rest
Are
still
around.
exist.
Oh, wow. For 100
in one way, shape, or form.
Okay.
For example, American Cotton Oil. Cotton Oil. That was the
Yeah.
name of a company. American Cotton Oil.
Wow, I don't know what that's become. Standard
Best
Oil? I don't know.
Foods.
Wow.
They turned cotton oil into mayonnaise.
Makes sense.
Now it's part of Unilever, the big European company.
Huge.
Then we had American Sugar, which became Domino. Domino Sugar, Domino Foods. American Tobacco became American Brands. Now it's Fortune Brands. They're still selling tobacco. Chicago Gas became People's Gas and is now Integris Energy, because these companies feel the need to make up stupid names.
Hey, don't you work for one called Vestry or something?
Vestry, yeah. Hey, I'd never heard of this company. Distilling and cattle feeding. Now, I wouldn't even thought those two would go together.
I'd love to hear how they do, because you never want to drink around large farm animals.
I looked it up, and I
Yeah.
figured out how they went together. What happens is they take all the grains to make the mash.
Yeah.
And then when they get
yeah,
all
makes
that
sense. Yeah.
the solid material out, they then feed it to the cows.
That's why
they're
you
happy,
see those
and
cows
they don't mind-
staggering around late Saturday afternoon. They're barely standing up.
and it's why they don't mind going to the abattoir.
Exactly. Which is,
I'm drunk.
Yeah,
That's where they
there you
kill
go.
them.
Yeah, I know.
The abattoir.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been to one.
But now it is part of American Brands, Millennial Chemicals. The liquor assets were sold to Diageo. Then General Electric, we know that one. Laclede Gas,
yeah.
it's still
Household
around.
name. Household name.
It's Laclede Group. Now here's one.
Yeah.
This is just a dumb company, but apparently back then it wasn't so dumb. It's National Lead.
I get that
Which became-
sinking feeling every time I buy
which became
shares
which
of
I think became
Lead.
national lead poisoning in the 70s.
Go ahead. Don't scrape here, please. Yeah, that's good.
And actually they moved into paints. And they became Dutch Boy Paints.
Oh, okay. That's a better branding than the whole lead thing. I don't
Lead.
know.
Yeah, and they had to take it out of the paint, so there really wasn't any lead involved anymore.
Good point.
Then we had North American. What a name. You don't even
Well,
know what they do.
I thought that was aviation. There was North American Aviation.
No.
Oh, okay.
They're now Wisconsin Electric. So they were an electric utility.
And they're part of the Dow 30?
They were part of the Dow 12 back then.
Wow.
Tennessee Coal, Iron, and Railroad. Wonder what they were in the business of doing.
Let me think.
Could be
that
coal,
through.
iron, and railroads.
Yeah, it's a good one.
J.P. Morgan actually helped arrange their merger with U.S. Steel back in just after the Panic of 1907. Here's the one that is gone. They can't find a trace of this. It was one of the trusts that was busted by Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
The company is U.S. Leather. It was also called the Leather Trust.
And
they
gone.
controlled all of the leather production in the United States. All of it. They were dissolved in 1911.
Whipped the profits right out of them, huh?
They beat them right out of the hide. Tanned their hide.
Yeah.
They tanned their hide.
So it's gone and nobody knows where it went. I bet it's
just
in a small
it's like,
office somewhere out in the range in Colorado somewhere or something.
It was probably like became Tandy. Remember when Tandy was the Tandy Leather Company?
Exactly, yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then it became, you remember when we were kids, people made stuff out of leather?
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
You got the leather stuff and you laced it up and you stamped it with
I did that in Boy
stuff.
Scouts a lot, yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were a Boy Scout.
No, I'm not. I
Really?
am an Eagle Scout. I was not a Boy Scout. Thank you.
You were a Boy Scout.
I'm still an Eagle Scout.
You're an Eagle Scout forever?
That's you're supposed to say it that way. I didn't
Do you
come
wear
up with
your?
this.
I want to see the uniform.
Oh no, you don't. I don't want
No,
that.
I
Would
really
that
don't.
would end up in about 9 pieces as soon as I pulled the shirt on.
Okay, now I'm gonna bounce the last one your way and see if you can guess what it is. I'm gonna bounce it.
Yeah.
Bouncing it. It's a clue.
I got
What
that.
bounces?
Balls,
Made of
rubber.
United States rubber.
All right. Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. That only took 3
which
clues.
became Uniroyal in the 1950s.
Sure.
Then became B.F. Goodrich in the 1980s, and then was sold to Michelin in France.
I think the takeaway from all this is number one is what you said. It's really not much of an index.
Right.
It's not industrial. Really.
Some of it was.
Well, it was, but it certainly is no longer.
It's not anymore. No, not anymore.
No. And to me, it just shows you that companies are great ideas at the time, and then they have a tendency to go away, and nobody can really pick the best ones to be in part of any index.
Nobody's
been able to do that.
That is the most powerful message in all of this. Had you bought any one of these stocks in 1896,
you have a nice certificate for your wall.
Exactly. I found a picture of the U.S. leather certificate.
Beautiful, I'm sure.
It's worth nothing.
Framed in leather.
Let's see. You can buy it. Let's see how much the U.S. leather certificate sells for. Oh, my gosh. The certificate sells for $199.95 online. Wow. So
with dividends reinvested, or
with dividends reinvested over all those years. Wonder what the return on that is. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. 855-935-8255. Stop by.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
In addition to the Talking Real Money podcast, I also do another podcast that's very popular over at Apple Podcasts. It's called Money 30. Every day I try to educate and inform you about money in a brief 2 to 4 minute podcast. So check them out at Apple Podcasts or all the other podcast services or at money30.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Only because it's ridiculously important that you manage your money well, that you spend it wisely, that you save as much as you can, and that you learn how to invest it. And that is one of the biggest reasons for this show, is helping you understand how to invest it, because most investing, Tom, you know this, is bad. It's terrible.
Yeah, most of it it's based on hyperbole. Or a product. I mean, I still one of my favorite pieces of video that I will show Thursday night at Retirement Freedom, this Thursday, the 28th, is a clip from Eugene Fama. I think it's fascinating. Here's a Nobel Prize winner. And Eugene Fama says, I've been at this going back to when I was a student, et cetera, for 55 years. And I've come up with about 5 sort of factors, things you could look at stocks and say, here's what's impacted returns of stocks over time. Conversely, Wall Street, in Gene's parlance, says they come up with a new one every week. And they do. I mean, there's a new idea, there's a new thing you got to own. And we're going to talk about this in Real Investing Journal. But the bottom line is the tried and true, using the right stuff, index funds, low cost, tax efficiency, it's worked for a very, very long period of time. So we'll be talking about that this Thursday, Don, at Retirement Freedom. I do this class with Rick Gregorick. It's very popular because in a couple of hours, we go through the financial, the estate, the elder law, all of this stuff. And it's right there in Kirkland, and you can sign up at talkingrealmoney.com, right? To 7 o'clock this Thursday. It's one night out of your summer, but it's well worth it. The turnout is always very, very good for these. And I think there's a nominal ticket fee because you got to pay for the room. So, and we don't give away dinner. We don't give away. Well, no, Rick might have cookies. I don't know. Sometimes Rick brings cookies, but no free food.
He's not like he's not barbecuing a cow to get a little leather for U.S. leather. A little leather.
So sign up for that Retirement Freedom this Thursday night. Myself and Rick Gregorick join us for that. It's a good class.
And, one of the lessons from both U.S. leather and from
yes,
distilling and cattle feeding back in the 1890s is don't cattle drive drunk.
Don't? Or is it more like
cattle drive drunk?
Don't cattle drive drunk? No, okay.
Yeah. That was all the cowboys. They knew that it was hard to drive drunk cattle.
Boy,
so
that's for sure.
Cattle
Keep the mash away from those guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You think they... Anyway. All right, 855-935-TALK is the number. We do have the bribe in effect. If you give us a call, Tom will actually send you a shiny new copy of our very own Better Retirement Guidebook. Which we actually got a nice note this week from somebody saying it was really nice. Good. I read it cover to cover.
We had a nice note.
Not like it's
called.
A long read.
Somebody actually
I think it's
called.
50 pages.
Yeah, it's 50 pages. It's great. There's some workbook aspects to it. You can put some numbers in there. You can work on it all. And we find that people enjoy it, especially people that are, tend to...
Getting ready to get retired.
Yeah, whatever number it is. No, I mean... And I got a call from a woman today who had met with us a couple of years ago, and she said, now I'm 6 months away, and I really got to get serious. Yep, you do. So she's going to come back and see us again, try to get a plan put together. You got to have a plan, right?
Well, and that's the big point.
Oh,
that's really if we can get this across, most of what passes for investing is playing with money. Most of the investment community does not create a plan. They don't care about a plan. They care about making the sale and getting on to the next commission, because that's how commission-oriented salespeople have to work. That's the way their life must go. They got to get it's like a lot of the doctors these days who have 5,000 clients. It's a numbers game with them. They got to move on to the next one, because Medicaid's only paying up $22. Got to move to the next one. Mm-hmm. These guys have to make the next sale because they're not getting paid on a regular basis to represent your best interest. They're not getting a regular fee. They're not getting an hourly fee. They've got to get commission. So you're going to get sold something. You're not going to get a plan, which is a good reason to call about your plan. And if you call to ask about your plan, you'll also get a planning guidebook. So, wow, you win all over the place. 855-935-TALK.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
We mention 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255 throughout the podcast. But you need to know that you can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Leave your question, and those will be answered in special Talking Real Money podcasts that will appear on this particular site in the future. So give us a call, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
Radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
That didn't come out right. I'm apologizing.
Yeah, Tom is talking a good game during the break.
That's
a little
true.
Trash talking.
I did.
Little trash talk
pretty much
during
everybody.
the break.
I let Stacy off the hook because she runs the board. Otherwise, everybody else can take wham.
Yeah. He's going, oh, you're older than you look.
No, I didn't. I said, no, I thought your age
you're
was
younger
older. I thought your age... Because Don's
you're
got a birthday tomorrow.
Than you look. That's what I meant. You're younger than you look.
I didn't say anything about looks. I thought you were older.
The implication was there.
No. Okay, all right. Don's birthday's tomorrow. I purposely looked it up to see how old you were, and I thought you were 1 year older. That's all. And nothing what you look like. That's so you're closer in age to me than I thought. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we're both children of the 50s.
That's true. 1950s, by the way. So
I don't know how anyone could possibly confuse anyone with the 1850s.
Some guy just
If
died
you
the
were
other day
born
who
in
was
the
like
1850s
121 years old or something. So,
That's
yeah, it
still
happens.
not going to put you in the 1850s.
Okay. My math
You
is
have
very
a
good.
very loose understanding of mathematics.
You're right about that. Because I've been
Apparently.
listening to Dave
And you
Ramsey all the
run-
time.
You run an investment firm.
Well, don't
that
tell
concerns
anybody that.
me.
Don't tell anybody that. That could be
All right.
concerning.
Can I explain something to you? Here,
Please.
I'm going to help you out real quickly.
Yeah.
You see that phone you have right there? Mm-hmm. There is a calculator right
Let's
there.
run the number just out of curiosity.
You could run the number.
Yeah, I will. Let's see.
855. While Tom is doing that could take a half hour or so. We'll
That'd be
just get back to the
160
phones.
years old. Yes, that'd be kind of old.
855-935-TALK is our phone number. 855-935-8255.
There is a
and
guy
Sherry.
in our business who says we should be doing planning for people into their 150, et cetera. Who was that?
Tangential. Okay. This is all tangential when
Okay.
I'm going to Sherry.
Go.
Now let Sherry talk.
Hi, Sherry.
Sherry. Welcome to Talking Real Money. Not
Hi.
Talking Real Tom Rambling.
How can we help you?
Yeah. Want to know, is it better for me to take my Social Security early or wait until the age that I can that it says to retire?
When are you going to die?
Who knows?
There's the problem. How old are you?
I will be 65.
Okay.
This year.
Here's the deal. You could take it at 65, and if you're going to die in about 8 years, you probably will be better off. But if you plan to live past that, you're better off waiting.
Okay.
It's just a trade-off between taking it now and taking less, waiting longer and getting more. And as Don said, the numbers, if you wait till 70, the numbers work out after about 9 years. So you have to live till about 79.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have longevity in your family, if your health isn't the best, et cetera, then for some reason it might make for some people. And by the way, are you working? Are you
Which is why I'm
retired?
taking mine next week, because I could go any
Well, this is
minute.
a very hazardous business. Are you are you working or are you retired?
No, I'm working.
Okay. That's the other reason.
Another good reason not to take
because
it.
you're going to be paying some of it in taxation, which doesn't make sense. Never made sense to me to pay taxes on Social Security.
Your Social Security benefits increase by about 8% per year every single year you wait. Now, an 8% return on your money, which is basically it's saying you're going to get 8% more in
inflation.
return,
Yeah.
plus inflation, is really good
There's nothing
with absolute safety.
nothing that we know of that you could put the money in to make that sort of guaranteed. And if anybody tells you that, by the way, please don't listen to them because there really isn't anything. So, does that make sense?
Okay. Uh-huh.
All right.
Thanks,
well, thank
Sherry.
you very much for your call. We appreciate it, Sherry. 855-935-TALK's the number. And Brian, you're next. Welcome.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really good. I'm at a kind of a weird point in my life. I got a little baby sitting here, and I'm a high school teacher. I'm 31, and just kind of right now thinking about how to prep for retirement and all that. And I've heard you guys talk about Dave Ramsey a bunch, and I got his book like 3 months ago, and that's kind of where I'm at. Kind of wondering like how to get started on the whole retirement path there.
Well, are you in the teacher's retirement plan?
I am, and it's really like figure it out by yourself. Go on. There's one fund where like you can choose the date that you think you're going to retire, and you put all your money into this particular retirement fund, and they just figure it out from there. Mine had been on some short-term investment thing that was getting maybe 1% back. I've worked there for 5 years now, and so I've got maybe 20,000 sitting in the retirement account, and like I said, at 1% back, it just felt like I could do better than that. So I've been trying to choose like the large cap, small cap mutual funds, and
and here's why did you go into this initially? Just because you had no clue?
Why did I go into the short-term
The
investment
safe
fund
one.
initially?
Yeah.
That's the one that they automatically put you in. This is
Unless
the
you
first
make
time
a
that
choice.
I ever opened up the account and looked at it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the money's just going in there and being sort of held for you, if you were.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the short answer is yes. At 31, you probably shouldn't have anything in bonds because they're not, the return for 30 years can be substantially less than stocks. But the question is, can you take volatility? That aside, yes, you should be in that program. And by the way, you should also consider doing the it's escaping me, the add-on you can do as well there. It's
like the
deferred compensation. So you can do additional savings after being in the teacher's program as well.
Well, and here's the message that we believe Dave Ramsey gets right when it comes to investing, and that is up your the real key is upping your savings until it hurts. Which means you max out your plan at work. Then we talk about how you invest it. You do the extra saving that you can there, and then on top of that, you do a Roth IRA if you can afford it. Because the more you put away now, the more flexibility you're going to have in the future.
I thought we lost him there for a minute.
I had some credit card debt like earlier this year, and I got like $2,000 left to go on that, and then I figured
you're doing great on that.
$1,000 a month on that.
But here's what I would like you to do. I'd love you to go to Vestry.com, take the risk quiz, figure out what your risk capacity is. If it's high, then you really should get that money into the really low-cost index stock-oriented funds.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
If you need help allocating your retirement plan at work, you can get free help at 401-411.com. That's 401-411.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Only because there are a few things more important that we could be talking about. 855-935-TALK is our telephone number. The bribe, in effect, we're bribing you with a book, the Vestry Better Retirement Guidebook, if you call and ask a question on the show. And Scott, you're next. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, thanks for taking me. I'm 56 years old. I'm a state employee. I actively contribute to the state's deferred compensation plan. My question for you is, should I stop the state inputting into the deferred comp and start up a Roth IRA? Should I take my money that's in deferred comp, take the major tax hit, and also move that into a Roth IRA? Or should I just continue with what I'm doing with the deferred comp?
I mean, the deferred comp plan is good because the costs are low. It has pretty decent diversification.
I'm fairly well diversified within the system.
Yeah, so that part's pretty good. I mean, then you start getting into should you convert pre-tax money into post-tax money. That usually takes some calculation. It's hard to just say on the air, go ahead and do it. Here's the reasons against it. Number one, you're going to pay, if however much you move over, you're going to pay that as regular income tax, right? I mean, if you move $100,000, you're going to add that in tax. I don't like to see that unless people have the money outside of the rollover to pay the tax. In other words, don't pay it out of what you've saved. I think that's a pretty tragic mistake. At 56, you should do some planning around that that takes what I was trying to say, a little more sophistication about trying to decide pre-tax, post-tax. Do you have any Roth savings today?
No, I do not.
Do you have the means by which to create a Roth and fund the plan at work?
Not currently at this time. I think it would be either or.
Well, you could quit doing into the deferred comp. You're still going into the teachers,
Roth now,
and then do the Roth. That way, you'd have some pre-tax money, if you will, that's going to come to you in retirement, and then you would have a pot of post-tax money if you did this for sake of argument, 10 years. How many more years are going to work?
Well, I figure I've probably got roughly about 10 years left.
Okay, I mean, yeah. So then you would be able to put $6,500 a year away into a Roth. That gets a little bit of growth. Now you have a pot of money that's pre and post tax. That is an advantage because then as you get into retirement, you can draw from different places that have different tax ramifications. I kind of like that strategy.
Yeah, okay. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than paying the taxes.
Paying those taxes is a really
Right.
If you didn't have the money to do it, I think that would be poor advice. I guess I'd put it that way. Thank you very much for your call, Scott. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, take care. 855-935-TALK, our number, 855-935-8255.
We got Joe coming up here, too. I think it's Joe, right? Joe, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. How are you?
Very well. How can we help?
So my question is this. I'm going to be 50 years old here this year. I got...
just a kid.
Barely even working your way into... Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I got about 12 more years to go, and I can retire.
There you go.
I got a 401k through work. I keep hearing about this Roth IRA. Is it... Would it be beneficial for me for the last 10 years to go ahead and just start pounding one out?
Well, just for the reasons we just suggested to Scott, the answer is yes, because, again, now you're going to have money that's pre-tax and money that's post-tax. So you get to retirement, you can draw, for example, on Social Security, you could draw a little bit out of the pre-tax, maybe some out of the post-tax. It allows you to game the system in terms of how much money you're paying the government for taxes in retirement, which is really overlooked by most people. So, yeah, I kind of like that strategy.
What it does is it gives you this ability to go into retirement saying, okay, this year I'm going to be in kind of a high bracket, so if I need a little money, I'll take it out of the Roth, on which it comes out tax-free. In years where your income is down, you can go and then tap the pre-tax dough.
Thank you.
Stuff
That's
on
a good
which
way
you have
to
to pay
put it.
taxes.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I'm in the upper tax bracket now, sort of. You know, I mean, I bounce back and forth with the wife and I, and it. I'm trying to save as much as I can, but then in the end, I'm getting socked on the other end right now.
Well, what is your household income, by the way, between the two of you?
190.
Yeah, you're not going to be Roth eligible at that income level. I think the cutoff's at 185, so you wouldn't be able to.
Really?
You wouldn't be able to.
You wouldn't be able to do it anyway.
Yeah, so. Sadly,
you make too much money, darn you!
You're one of them rich guys.
I can control my income.
Well, if you want to make a Roth contributions, make it in a year when you drop below that number, when you're able to get it, because it is nice to have down the road that little. It's not going to make a ton of difference in your situation because one, you sound like you're saving, you make good money, but the more you can save, the better off you're going to be. Whether it's in a Roth, whether it's in your retirement plan at work, or whether it's just putting it away in a regular old tax-managed mutual fund.
Yeah, which you could do, too. So, so if you had the savings and you weren't Roth eligible, you could still set the money aside. Joe, great question. Congratulations on the 50th birthday. That's one I can still remember, actually. So I feel good about
that.
Yeah,
vaguely.
It's disappearing
very
quickly. But all right, we got
actually, you know what I did on my 50th? I went to Churchill Downs.
Wow.
And
I can remember
bet on a horse.
I can remember the party I had on mine. Okay, so let's go to the phones one more time. Greg joins us here on Talking Real Money. Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Hello. How can we help you?
I have I sold part of my business. I'm getting $200,000 for a portion of it, and I'm wondering what I should do with the $200,000. I got a couple small mortgages that I could pay off. I could just take the money and obviously invest it. So I'm kind of walking
What's the
back and
interest
forth.
rate on the mortgages?
On one of them, it's 3.25%. On the other one, it's 4.75%.
And these are not primary residences? These are like investment type properties?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. How old are you, Greg?
69.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you want the money to do for you?
Liquidity.
Yeah.
Well,
what do you want this money
to do for me?
Yeah, what's the purpose?
What do you need it for?
I want it to earn some income for me.
But what are you going to do with it? Is this money that you need to pay some bills down the road? Because you're not going to make a lot. What Tom's getting at is you're not going to make a lot more than 4.75% with safe money. But by paying off a mortgage on a piece of property, you're tying that money up in the property should you ever need it to live on.
So if it's something you're going to need in the next 3, 4, 5 years, again, I would rather see you invest some of it in stocks, some in bonds. You're still liquid. You can get at that money, whereas in the real estate, it's a lot tougher to do, as you know, because if you go back to Well, back in the old days in Seattle when you couldn't sell a house overnight, remember those days?
You mean
like,
'08?
Yeah, like '08, '10, all that stuff.
'08, yeah.
Boom. So yeah, I would probably go for some in something in the stock side, some in the bond side. Balance that out, give yourself some liquidity, and then keep doing your real estate deals because those are great interest rates. I mean, that's very, very low, especially for investment type property.
For investment property.
Yeah, really good.
Thanks for the call, Greg. We appreciate it. We thank everybody who gave us a call and got the free book. And remember, you can keep calling that number.
Yep, we'll be on the air
ad
KVI.
infinitum.
Yep.
855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. And if you do switch over to KVI to follow the show, Tom's going to be talking with attorney Rick Gregorick today about
Happy
estate
birthday, Don.
elder law.
Enjoy your
Thanks.
parties.
We're talking real money.
Keeping the podcast breaks as painless as possible is my goal. That's why I want to very quickly tell you about the only magazine I've ever heard of that is 100% real investing all the time. There's no business news, no speculative advice, and certainly no lifestyle stuff. It's called Real Investing Journal. I publish it every quarter, and you can get 2 full years for only $25 at realinvestingjournal.com. That's realinvestingjournal.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
And speaking of attorney Rick Gregorick, Tom and attorney Rick Gregorick will be working together this coming Thursday evening at an event called Retirement Freedom, which is designed to help you learn how to invest better, create an income stream better in retirement, and protect your money against things that might befall you that you don't want to deal with, but you probably should. And you can get tickets to it right now if you go to talkingrealmoney.com, talkingrealmoney.com.
That the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. That's a wrap.